What is going on, everybody? So we are filming this video live. I guess in theory we film every video live, but we're streaming it live for the first time. We're going to unbox a different iPhone XR. I'm going to share some impressions, and I think most importantly, we're going to take your questions about the XR if you guys decide whether or not you want to pick one up. So I've been using a XR. This is real early impressions for like 2 hours at this point. I've always wanted a product red iPhone. I couldn't justify buying the same phone I already had, and then I didn't really want an iPhone 8 when I was using an iPhone 10 last year. So I'm pretty pumped for the red. We're going to be unboxing the blue in case you guys want to see a color comparison. So the big questions that I had going into the XR is first, it's $250 less. So am I getting $250 more of a phone for the XS? So first, the screen size was 6.1. Feels really good to me. I've been using a XS Max at 6.5 inches. So I love the way the phone feels in the hand. I think this is a sweet spot. Yeah. The 5.8 on the S and the 10 are pretty good, but it feels really good in the hand. But the big question for me that I guess I'm still trying to answer is the screen. So it's not OLED. So you're not going to get those dark blacks and as bright as you would ordinarily get. Looking at the home screen, I don't notice any difference at all. But to my eye, when I start looking at text, it does look a little chunky to me. I probably will get used to it. No 3D touch also. It's got haptic touch. I never used 3D touch that much, so I don't think it's going to be that big an issue. But I know Mark, that's one of the reasons he wouldn't get an iPhone XR, because he uses 3D touch quite a bit. So that's something to consider. The bezels around here are also, bigger since it's LCD versus OLED. So I notice it now. I probably won't notice it in a day or two when I've just been sort of using the phone. And then there's two last differences: no gigabit LTE, and then you don't have the telephoto lens on here. Right. So we've been playing with the camera a little bit. We've got some examples to show you. It does do portrait mode on the rear camera, but it only does portrait mode for faces. So we tried to shoot some shots outside with me looking up, and it wouldn't do portrait at all. So if you take portrait shots of your dog or other stuff or food, the XR is not going to be the phone for you. But if you just do people, you might be okay. On the flip side, though, you can do portrait shots assuming it's of people without having to go so far back, since it's not using that telephoto for the depth. So you can actually get closer. And you should also get better low light portrait shots, in theory. So we're going to test all that stuff. And as I'm talking also, if you guys have questions, just fire them away and we'll all answer them.
Should we get to the unboxing?
Yes, let's unbox. That was a lot of...
No, that covered almost
good first impressions.
Okay. Also, I think one of the best reasons to get the XR is it comes in the size that all phones should come in. It's 128 gigabytes. All iPhones should come in. That is the sweet size. Apple knows it. And then they double it so they can charge more. So we've got the blue one here. This is a 128. So it's
128. Wow, fancy.
It's nice, right? Yeah. So it is $800, but the phone starts at $750 for 64. Yep. That's actually a fair, I think, price markup to double your storage.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the blue. The box looks like an iPhone box. You can see the little blue band around the side. The colors did look pretty good in person. The coral, it's not as pink as you'd expect. It's kind of like a coral. It's an orangey pink. So there's the box.
Compared to the Google Home Mini, how does a coral look? Because the Google Home Mini comes in that coral color.
Yeah.
Too. And from pictures, it kind of looks the same.
It did look pretty similar. It's actually a fair comparison. Designed by Apple in California. Take a look here. I'm gonna drop down the floor 100%. You got some removal tool and some stickers. And
does this one say air power in it?
Oh, that's a good thing to check.
Let's update on air power. Let's see. So it does have wireless charging. Tap to wake, ring is silent. Charging.
I'm gonna
jump into
Yep.
With our number one question that's being asked right now. What's everybody's favorite color?
Red.
I like the yellow.
I like the red.
We're gonna see the
spin
blue.
it
It
right.
does say air power inside.
The blue
of it.
might win me over in a second.
So let's see. You want to do the honors? Pull it up.
Sure, let's pull it out. Boom.
All right.
It's very light blue.
The blue is really nice. So I love that feeling.
All right, I'll give Apple its credit. this looks exactly the same as it does on the website. So
Yeah.
It does. I wonder how much money they spent trying to get that
Yeah.
exact color blue. Also, the aluminum around the side, it's a different color blue. It's a little bit
yeah,
lighter.
same with the yellow.
Yeah.
This one.
So it gives you kind of a two-tone effect. So, ready? Quiet, please.
Always satisfying.
Yeah. So it just kicked on. And then you've got rest in the box, 5-watt charger.
Yeah.
That is like almost embarrassing to say. You've got ear pods
Earbuds,
Yep.
yes.
and a lightning charger. I had to like think about that 8 times before I said it. Not AirPods. Like probably should be in the box.
Yeah.
So we got blue, we got red. Matt's got
Yellow.
yellow.
Sit back a little.
So you can see
The audio.
you can see all the colors. It's all, almost all the colors of the rainbow here.
nice.
We're missing coral and then black and white. So here are the phones. Let you hold blue. So those are initial, I think, iPhone XR impressions. I'm not sure about the screen. The camera thus far in portrait mode has not overly impressed me. You can see some shots of my face. It appeared to have a harder time.
It's working.
It appeared to have a harder time in the post-production actually cutting my face out. Wasn't anything crazy going on in the backgrounds. But I'm going to try it. You know, and we're going to see. I'm excited to see battery life. Will be a big deal. It is dual SIM too. A dual SIM, in fact, that one is an eSIM and one's a physical SIM. So I think at least it appears that what Apple cut versus the XS is justified. So they saved money really just on the screen and then some of the the modems and cameras.
Right.
But the rest of it, it's the same processor. There's 1 gig of RAM less, which probably should notice the same RAM that was in the iPhone 10. It's 3 versus 4. It's got a bigger battery, and it's significantly less expensive. So iPhone XR, Jesse, what other questions are we getting in?
So number 2 question right now is, can you guys notice the difference between the screens on the XS and the XR?
When
Yes.
when you hold them side by
Yeah,
side, you
side by
definitely
side.
can. The screen of the XR doesn't look as bright to my eye. Like I said, text looks a little bit chunky.
I don't see that as much, but I mean, there is a difference
Yeah.
in resolution. So
When you look at this, there's the home screens, the icons. It's hard to see a difference. I turned the brightness up about 8% higher than I usually keep it on my 10s and 10s Max. If that tells you anything.
yeah, brightness is definitely a big one, especially if you're looking at it head on and you tilt it. The fall off of the brightness is where you really notice it.
Yeah.
But this is all like if you're holding it next to each other, you notice it. I don't know how much is going to matter
In real world
usage.
yeah.
I think it's like shopping for TVs.
Yeah.
Like if you look at a bunch of TVs on a Best Buy wall, like you're gonna notice one looks better, but like once you get
Right.
it home and like
Yeah.
put it in your house.
Another
you know.
interesting thing is what we'll have to test is outdoor visibility with the brightness.
Yeah, that's actually a very fair point. Anything you guys want to see us test? That's a good chance to ask. We will test it and we'll include it in our full review. Jesse, what else is coming in?
The other big one that we have right now is there a huge difference between the bezels right now? Like, are you noticing the bezel difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's something that you're going to notice. I'm not trying to be like an iPhone apologist here, but I don't know if it's something that you're going to notice a couple days into using. It's
I mean,
the notch.
they're not bad. They're not as big as the notch at the top. But it's like when you hold it next to the 10s, you really like it's a big difference.
It's
Yeah.
The way I said it is with the color band around the edge. When you look at it head on, it almost looks like it has a case on it already.
Yes.
Right.
Like the
Yeah.
bezels and that side makes it look like it has a case on it.
Also weird, there aren't really any accessories. Speaking of cases,
That's true. Yeah.
For the 10R, the official Apple cases aren't even like out.
Yeah, it's
right.
weird.
So get Apple Care.
Yeah. Don't take it outside until you get the case.
Don't even consider taking it outside. I will say though, the bands looks like the only phone where the band color matches the back.
I think the white and black do that as well.
So there you go. But I'm curious to test it. Also, and just like the 10s and the 10s Max, it's one phone. There isn't like a separate phone that'll work on Verizon and Sprint anymore. It's just one phone for everything, which is nice. And if you pay full price, the phones will be totally unlocked.
Yeah.
So my concerns going in and my questions, I imagine you guys as well. How's the camera going to perform? How is the battery going to be for me? And what's the screen
Right.
like going to look like in different scenarios? So that's what we're going to focus on in our full review.
Alrighty, so my favorite comment so far has been, John, your socks match the 3 phones.
They do.
So this was obviously
funny.
planned.
Yeah.
100% planned.
Also, the people are asking if they're coming from an iPhone 8 or 8 Plus, is there a difference screen-wise between the 10R and the 8 Plus? Like, is this a good upgrade for them?
Screen-wise,
This is actually a lower resolution screen
than the Plus. Yes.
than the Plus. This is a 326 ppi display, so it's sub 1080. Actually, it's a sub 1080 resolution on the 10R. I think if you're upgrading from anything except for an iPhone 10, it'll look pretty.
I think it's gonna look good. Yeah.
I think it'll look pretty good.
Yep.
So I think that's a solid upgrade.
Well, yeah. Do you think it's worth upgrading from an iPhone 8 to this though?
Yeah, for Face ID.
Yeah.
I think that's a big.
Well, on that note, then, Great Tech Review said, is it worth upgrading from an iPhone 7?
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
If you're coming from an iPhone 7 or older, it's a great upgrade.
Yep,
This
for
is,
sure, yeah.
Like for your parents.
Choose a color you like. Go get it.
Yeah.
You'll like it.
Also, speaking of going to get one, it was strange. I went to pick mine up at like 8:10 at the Apple Store here in Irvine. I was the only customer in the store. That was a very weird experience.
Yeah, Jesse and I went there probably half an hour later. There were like 2 other people there, but yeah, it was very empty.
Oh yeah, it was. So you can probably just go to your Apple Store and pick one up and be totally fine.
Yeah, I didn't pre-order this one. I just walked in and bought it.
Seems like
So,
there's pretty good availability everywhere
Yep.
for 10Rs.
Yeah, this phone is definitely for not the enthusiasts, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like it could
yeah.
be, but
Except
like
for you.
people lining up, I don't think that's what this phone is for.
No, I agree. This are people who are like been waiting to upgrade a phone or are coming from like an iPhone, 6th generation.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you are, I feel like it's worth noting too, no headphone jack, and also
Sure.
no dongle in the box to give you that
Right.
3.5 millimeter headset jack.
Speaker grills do match though.
Oh, it is a symmetrical. Well, there's one like fake hole, but no.
Well, no, they're all fake, but
So
well,
yeah,
not that all-
symmetrical speaker grill,
Yeah.
which is a step up over the 10s and the 10s Max. How about this? I wouldn't feel like I was getting a budget iPhone in the same way I felt the 5C and the SE were budget iPhones.
5C
Right.
definitely felt like a budget phone.
Yeah.
Like even when you used it, you felt the processor not being as good. This super snappy. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't feel any different than 10s.
No, I think the question is, would you have rather? So Apple keeps the price the same. Would you have rather had the A11? Would you rather have the A11 Bionic and a better screen, or the 12 and the screen that's in here?
Probably this one.
Yeah, I think for the person who's going to buy this phone, the customer that's going to primarily get the
Interesting.
10R, it's a sacrifice on the screen for the better processor.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would have gone the other way. I think I would have gone screen over
Right.
processor, but that's just me. So, kind of first look impressions. I'm not disappointed, but I'm not in love with the phone. I think the next couple days will really be telling into how it is and the opinions of the device itself.
Another question really quick, just to jump in on this impressions idea, like first impressions. Warren Buckley asked, do I go for a 10R or the Pixel 3? Not the XL, just the Pixel 3. Like impressions between the two really quick.
So we'll have a separate video on that. I actually am almost done prepping 10S versus Pixel 3. That's a personal question, man. That I'm not even going to touch that. That's an iOS versus Android
Yeah,
thing.
I think that's the biggest question.
Yeah.
iOS or Android.
Like, what do you want?
Right.
This one's to Berto. Dallin Bricks put, welcome to the lowdown.
Welcome.
Can you say it in the Berto voice?
Yeah. Hey, everybody, welcome to The Lowdown, the show that breaks down the top stories of the tech world, giving you the info you need to know.
And-
I got that spiel just all memorized.
There you go. And of
There
course,
you go.
the number one question is, will you do a drop test? Are we doing a drop test live, John?
Oh, I thought I was going to do it.
I really did too.
I am not. So Jesse has my iPhone XS Max. It has always been in a case, yet somehow the screen has a gigantic scratch to like a quarter of the phone. So
If you drop it, it'll probably break.
if you drop it, it'll
Yeah.
it'll break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually.
This is not the world's strongest glass, like Apple claims from the XS and XS Max. It's like the world's probably 8th strongest glass, which is still glass.
Flash is turned on.
That's flashing everybody. So just any last questions before we wrap it up?
Yeah, so we got a super chat from Van Leon, and he put, what's your favorite phone as of right now?
So first, thank you, Van Leon, for the super
Yeah,
chat.
thank you.
Thank you.
My favorite phone right now. That's tricky. I loved the Pixel 3 XL, and then we started having boot loop issues, and that kind of soured it for me a little bit. I think right now probably the XS Max. I think would probably be my favorite phone. Matt's got the Huawei P20 Pro,
Pro, yep.
that I haven't yet like played with extensively.
Yeah, reviews coming on that very soon.
But that phone looks awesome. It's got the in-screen fingerprint reader.
Yeah.
It's got like a Face ID, a body that looks like Galaxy S9.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped to.
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm pumped to try that one. But for right now, I'd probably give it to the XS Max.
Agree with that.
D Photo asks, are the sides slippery at all?
No.
Not as grippy as the stainless steel, but not slippery.
Not
No.
slippery.
Yeah, I don't think any more or less than like the XS. at
The
all.
aluminum, the like all aluminum phones with the iPhone 7, those were kind of slippery.
Yeah.
But when you have the glass on the back, it really gives you a little bit more grip, I think.
Yeah, I agree. You better not be slippery since no case is available for it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking, are you able to see pixels on this display since it's so much larger?
No.
I can't see
I-
pixels. I even hold it like
Yeah.
super close.
I can't see individual pixels here at all. Or like the backlight issue either.
Yeah, I don't see any of that either.
The Xion Shock asked, I love the phone, but I'm disappointed in pricing. What do you guys think about pricing on this phone right now?
Apple did a great trick. They raised the price of their main phone and made this the price that the phone used to be.
Yeah.
So it makes it seem cheaper, but yeah, it's still expensive.
Yeah, and like the pantheon of what phones cost. Like if you just take away like $800 is expensive for a phone, $1,000 expensive for a phone.
Yeah.
That's what phones cost.
Right.
The fact that you can get the latest processor from Apple for a $750 price point is like relatively good. It's still a lot of money.
Right. I think when most people walk into a store and they're looking to upgrade their phone and they see the price difference month to month,
Yeah.
$20 less if you go with this over the XS or XS Max, I think it's a good deal, and they'll see it as a good deal for what you get.
Yeah, I think Apple's gonna sell a lot of these in store, and people walk in and are like,
Oh,
"I want
for
an
sure.
iPhone.
Exactly.
I want the XS," and they're like, "Well,
It's
this one
cheaper.
looks
Yeah.
almost as good."
And I can get in the color I want.
Yeah. How much
Yeah.
does it cost a month? So
I don't know why this wouldn't sell well.
I
can't see why.
agree.
Yeah.
It's not like the 5C where like it feels like plastic or like the
do
screen's
you
too
guys
small on the SE.
do you think there's still a stigma from people from the 5C? Do the general consumers know that this is a really good phone, or is it yet another? Oh, maybe it's a lesser phone.
I don't think the general public knows that the 5C was a lesser phone.
That's
I see
actually
them a
fair.
lot.
That's a fair,
actually.
that's
Okay.
a fair
Yeah.
a fair point.
I think what the 5C it came out at a different time. It
Right.
wasn't on the normal cycle, so I think that was kind of weird. It was like in between upgrade cycles for a lot
Yeah.
of people. This one came out basically at the same time as the regular 10s.
Yeah.
Like especially when you go into the store, I'm sure they're gonna have them next to each other, or very close to each other.
Yeah.
And as soon as people see it has the same looking screen,
Yeah.
it's got the colors, and they see that it's cheaper,
And Face ID.
yeah, it's got
Yeah.
all the same features basically. If it doesn't sell well, I'll be very surprised.
I agree.
On this thought process, then, a lot of people have been asking, do you think that the 10R is going to sell more than the 10S and 10S Max?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. Ultimately.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take for it to catch up, but I think it will, yeah.
So here's the trick with Apple. This is a little more maybe like businessy. Apple doesn't make most of their phone money when you buy your phone. Where they make their money is when you give your phone back to Apple and they resell it again, and they resell it again after that. The typical iPhone almost has 3 separate resale periods where it goes to usually other countries. That's where Apple makes their money. And I would imagine the margins, so how much money Apple makes per phone, are probably bigger on the R, I think, even
gotta be, yeah.
even despite the lower price point. So I think Apple's going to push this phone hard, and they're going to make a killing over the next 3 years from this phone.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see now that these are out, the component costs.
Yeah.
Because I know that screen's got to be way cheaper.
Agreed.
Some people have asked, do you feel like now that the iPhone 10 is outdated? Or is it still a good buy? Like maybe buying an iPhone 10 used or something like that?
No, iPhone 10 still.
I think if you can get it for a good price, which you could,
Yep.
I'd probably get that over this, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah, honestly, I probably would too.
There's a few things about the 10 that I like over this, like the dual camera. I personally use it 80% of the time when
Yeah.
I'm taking photos.
There's usually giant differences between the processor generations. Between 11 and 12, it's not huge.
Exactly.
Yeah, that especially now. Like,
Yeah.
The overhead is definitely bigger, but like for what you actually do day to day, like you don't really notice a difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's fair question.
Yeah, like
Alrighty, so we are hitting the 20-minute mark. So we're going to start closing out. One last one before we go, and that is Keith Crosby said, shout out to Dublin.
Shout out to Dublin.
Yeah.
Dublin.
All right, then. You guys want to last thoughts on the iPhone XR before we get out of here?
I like the color. I'm not yet sure on the phone.
I think if you buy this phone, you're going to be happy. I think a lot of the reasons why we're maybe a little iffy on it is because we use the XS.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. So if you want it, go get it. And so far, I think you'll be happy with it.
I don't think you'll be disappointed. How about that? At least go check him out in store. Anyway, thank you guys for doing this. If you like the style of kind of filmed live with Q&A that'll live on the channel afterwards, let us know in the comments. And kind of the best way to let us know is give it a thumbs up. You'd be shocked how much it actually helps us with the YouTube algorithm and the hamsters in the wheel. Anyway, thank you guys for watching.
Mike?
Thank